Okay, so let me ask you something. Have you ever shot like an awesome video on your phone? You're all excited about it.
Yeah, of course.
But when you go back to look at it, the colors just dot off.
Oh, totally like that yellow tint you get from indoor lighting.
Yeah, exactly. Or everything's a bit too blue. You know the deal.
Happens all the time.
Super common problem, but get this. There's this trick in LumaFusion. You heard of that?
LumaFusion. Yeah, it's a mobile app, right? For video editing.
Yeah, and it's got this crazy simple trick to fix the color in a snap. It's pretty wild.
Really? I'm intrigued. What's the secret sauce? Some fancy algorithm.
Well, it actually kind of is, but it's based on a really cool concept.
Hit me with it.
So LumaFusion, it's not like some high-end editing suite or anything.
Right. It's all mobile.
Exactly. But it's still got this awesome feature that uses something called get this, a divide blend mode.
Divide blend mode. Okay, now you're just using big words to sound smart.
Huh. Fair enough, but it's simpler than it sounds, I promise.
All right, break it down for me.
So basically, the whole idea is you find one thing in your video that you know should be white.
Okay.
Could be anything, a piece of paper, a wall, some snow.
Right?
And you basically tell the app, see this? This is what white is supposed to look like.
Interesting.
And then, get this, it recalibrates everything else in the scene based on that.
Whoa, hold up. So you're saying it analyzes that one white element
Yeah.
and then just adjusts everything else to match.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Wild, right?
That's pretty incredible when you think about it.
It really is. And the way it does it, the tutorial we were looking at showed how they use a white shape, like a rectangle or something, and they put it right over the video.
Over the video, okay.
Then they use this divide blend mode, and what it does is it compares that white shape to the original footage.
To like neutralize the difference.
Exactly,
Yeah,
you got it. It's like you're tricking the software into thinking that slightly off-white color IS actually pure white.
Clever.
And then it adjusts everything else to match. It's so ingenious.
And effective.
Super effective, but there is a catch.
There's always a catch.
The YouTuber, he's really stresses that you got to be careful about which white you choose.
What do you mean? Isn't all white just white?
You'd think so, right?
Yeah.
But it turns out not all whites are created equal.
Oh, okay. I think I see where you're going with this. So like a white shirt in the shade, that's going to look way different than, say, a white car in bright sunlight.
Exactly.
You got it.
So it's all about context.
Exactly. It's about finding that shade of white that accurately reflects, how white should look in that particular scene, in that specific lighting. It's almost like you got to find that sweet spot.
Yeah, like that Goldilocks white. Not too bright, not too dark. Right?
Exactly. You're looking for that just right white to guide the correction.
Yeah, and he actually suggests, the YouTuber, he says to go for like a mid-tone white.
Yeah.
Or a high tone, for the best results.
Interesting. So not just any white will do. Got to be specific.
Right, because you're essentially, you're setting the foundation, right, for the whole color palette of the video.
Makes sense, like laying the groundwork.
And based on what I've seen, it really works. Like in the tutorial, he takes this video and it's so blue.
Oh no, tinted blue.
Totally. And he applies this trick with the white shape and everything. And it's like someone just flipped a switch. Suddenly the whole thing looks so much more natural.
So it's that effective. Huh. Pretty cool.
Really impressive, right?
It is. Though, like with anything, there are some limitations to keep in mind.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that.
Right.
When would this method maybe not be the best?
Well, the big one is that you absolutely need at least one frame in your video with something that should be white.
So if you're filming like a scene at night.
Yeah, and there's no white elements anywhere, this trick won't work.
Right, because it needs that reference point, that anchor to tell it how to adjust the colors.
Exactly. It's using that white element as its guide.
So if you were shooting something at night, maybe try to get like a street light, hitting a car or something, just so you have something.
Ooh, that's a good tip. Yeah, a little planning goes a long way.
For sure. But even still, I feel like for most videos, the stuff we shoot on our phones every day.
Totally, like everyday stuff.
This is a game changer.
I think so too. And you know what I find really interesting about all this?
What's that?
It's like we started off talking about this quick fix, right? In LumaFusion.
Right.
And now we're talking about color correction in general. It's like it opened up this whole other door.
Totally. And it's all connected.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like we stumbled on this cool little hack, but it's actually got all this theory behind it.
It's like the tip of the iceberg, And the YouTuber, he actually links to this whole Photoshop tutorial.
Oh, wow, really? So you can see where this technique came from.
Yeah, like the original inspiration for it. People want to really geek out on the why,
Yeah.
they can totally check it out.
I love that. It's like a rabbit hole of knowledge. You start with fixing your phone videos and end up a Photoshop master.
Right, it's that whole thing about learning. You never know where it'll take you.
Totally. Okay, so to wrap things up here, if someone's listening and they're like, all right, I'm sold, I got to try this LumaFusion thing,
Yeah.
what's the one thing they got to remember, the absolute key takeaway?
Honestly, it all comes back to that reference point.
Yeah.
That white element in your video.
Right, finding that perfect white.
Exactly. You got to find a shade of white that in that scene, under those lighting conditions,
Yeah.
that's what true white should look like. That's what it all hinges on.
It's like the cornerstone of the whole technique. Choose wisely, people.
Couldn't said it better myself.
Well, there you have it, another deep dive in the books. If you try this out, let us know how it goes. We love hearing about your video editing adventures. Until next time, happy editing, everyone.